Hey guys, how you doing? This is Manga, etc. and I'm here today to bring the review for One Piece episode 985. So we start things off with this scene where Kaido meets up with the Toboropo, and basically the importance of this scene is for us to find out two things. One, they were summoned by King to round up Yamato, and the second thing being that how is that Kaido has a special announcement to make, obviously, when things get cracking later on, and he says it was mentioned by what's her name? It was mentioned by what's her name? OT. It was mentioned by OT about like why are you keeping things from us now, and then Kaido says it would make more sense to tell you later rather than cause confusion right there and then. So my question for anime only watchers is: do you think the Toboropo are capable of bringing in Yamato, and what do you think the special announcement is? I guess by now in the manga, those kind of questions are kind of answered. One of them is definitely answered. But yeah, anime only watchers, what do you think on that? Was also mentioned how if anybody is able to bring in Yamato, they will get a chance at fighting to become a lead performer of taking over from Queen, King, or Jack's position. So also, wait, did I ask it already? Do you think if a Toboropo is capable of bringing in Yamato, how would they fare against one of the lead performers, and which one do you think they would take on? That's a lot of questions so far. But yeah, feel free to answer them if you please. So after that, the majority of the episode is really focused on Luffy and Zoro. And if you go back to last episode, it's really more of the same stuff. And if you go back to last episode again, if you consider that the perfect telling of the point that I was trying to make within last episode, and for me the point that they was trying to make through the Luffy and Zoro scenes within the last episode, is that this is the part of the fight they can relate to. I went on to say last episode that how, and I went on to say in the review for last episode that at the end of the day, Luffy and company are just helping out a bunch of friends, but the stuff that they've experienced in Wano is the stuff they can relate to the most. So seeing them get frustrated about it is just a reminder of what they are more so fighting for. And we get that again within this episode. And like I said, if you considered what we got last episode as like the perfect way to retell us that, then this episode seems like it was a bit more dragged out. And I guess the problem with that is because the stuff that we got within the last episode wasn't shown to us within the manga. It probably did happen, but it wasn't shown to us within the manga. So it lessens the impact of this week's stuff that we get with this week's episode, because we was told it last week, and also in my personal opinion, because it was longer and it felt more dragged out, especially with the Luffy stuff. The Zoro stuff, it was still the same. Like the point that was making was still the same as within last week, but it wasn't as long this episode, and it was like kind of from a completely different kind of angle, really, because last week we saw like the Kongrosaki, and this week it was different. So with after that, well, not after that, also within the episode we see we see kids crew kids crew. And now there was a little scene of kids crew that wasn't within the manga, where we see Kid basically come across some of the members of Kaido's crew, and he's like, "Yo, I need to go find Kaido ASAP. You know, he did me a solid. I need to go thank him ASAP." And as I was watching this scene, I enjoyed it simply because, just as much as I have wanted to explore the supernovas, the worst generation, in further detail, I've wanted to know more about their crews in the same respect. So just to hear them talk and see them walk within this episode, I'm not gonna say it was a breath of fresh air, but it piqued my interest back into the crews just a little bit. Also, it did get me wondering where the hell did Kid think he was going with only 4 members of his crew against Kaido. He's trying to get to Kaido with only 4 members of his crew. Like, bro, what was you thinking? You've been defeated by him before once. You know what kind of strength he's rocking with. How the hell did you think you can even beat him with only just 4 members of his crew? So yeah, that was a thought process there. So, like I said, a focus of the episodes was on Luffy and Zoro, and when you get to Luffy's breaking point, you know, things have gone awry. Like, he gets mad, he attacks with an elephant gun. Like, you know, the jig is up. The jig is up. He has basically thrown stealth out the window, and things are getting a little bit troublesome. On the subject of Kids Crew, though, I know when it happened within the manga, I mentioned it I mentioned it a couple reviews ago, where I was like, do you think Kid is gonna throw stuff out the window as well? It seems like he's going to be rolling with it. But yeah, Luffy throws it out the window, then Zoro throws it out the window, so they are basically exposed now. So what do you think happens from there? Because that's where we leave off the episode. I'm going to give this episode a 2-star rating, and that's simply because for the most part, it wasn't exciting, simply because I feel like we were just retelling, for the most part, we were just retelling the stuff that we got within last episode, the Luffy Zoro stuff, if you wasn't clear on that. Like always, guys, I'm asking for your thoughts and opinions. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, but most importantly, take care, have a nice day.